IVM.
Stories, we've got stories. They're a little bit of funny and a little bit of dissenter. You wanna hear them? It's got humans. They're sitting in a box and talking bold at Varta Lab.
Varta Lab new episode with myself, Aakash, his self, Navin, and his self this time, Hashbass.
Hi.
Hi. I don't call you Hashbass, so it's weird to call you Hashbass on this.
जो बुलाना बुला ले यार.
And do you know how I met Hashbass?
I know that you have met and you keep talking about how you have a new best friend.
Yeah.
I get jealous.
Yes, we are best friends.
So please elaborate.
First, we had got to know each other. I knew him. I was a fan, right? Because I was listening to music and all. And then Shashwat, him and I spoke on that ill-fated, short-lived app called what is it called? Community.
नहीं
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Community. That was a short-lived TV show.
But then one day I'm in Mumbai for at Veranda for a Dik Chick kind of night with my flatmates and all, and this one is there. Yeah.
Wow.
And he had just moved to Bombay, okay, and he's like, oh bro, मैं आ गया Bombay shift हो गया, and me being myself, I'm like, bro, नहीं है रहने लायक ये शहर, इधर क्यों आया तू?
First line.
But you're from Delhi, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit upgrade happened.
Yeah, I mean in some senses, I'm sure.
It's okay.
Do you not feel it's a mild upgrade?
It's nice.
उसके घर पे पानी वानी भर गया था, so I can ask like why.
Then if you don't have that experience, how would you have Bombay experience?
वो तो है. But he was very fascinated क्योंकि fourth floor पे पानी आया.
Third floor पे. So एक हफ्ता में सिर्फ पानी मैनेजमेंट कर रहा था. गाने वाने गए पहाड़ में. पहले
पानी निकलता. You feel like a farmer in Satara.
कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बुलाओ. एक टाइम पे पीओपी में ही ले आया था. वाइट सीमेंट में ही ले आया. लगा दिया मैंने, चुका दिया. अब आता है मेरे को लगाना, फिक्सिंग करना दीवारों को, like कैसे पानी रोकना.
Did the doctor fix it or not? Like
No, bro. I bought the proper white cement. घोल के लगाना, उसके ऊपर पॉलिथीन लगाना, सब कुछ like I kind of.
Did you Google it?
No, bro. I saw him one time do it, and then I was like, अच्छा यही तो करना होता है. Then I was like, मैं इसको क्यों बुला रहा हूँ?
If you're a man, it comes with the DNA. Okay, it's a part of it.
That's great. That's well done, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like that's one thing, right? Like my father's an electrician.
Yeah.
So he had like most of the skills. Like जो भी करना है मैनुअल लेबर उसको आता है, लेकिन करने का मूड नहीं है उसको. You know what I'm saying? Like पूरे सोसाइटी का इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फिक्स करेगा, हमारे घर पे फैन नहीं चल रहा है. That's the reality I lived with my entire life, dude. So I was like, fuck this, I'm learning this so I can fix it.
Yeah.
And then what happened is I did engineering, telecom, and now my neighbors think I'm also electrician.
Yeah.
So now I'm going and fixing that thing also for no reason.
Correct.
But वो था कि मतलब for a full while he was like कि you don't have any of these skills.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not a manly boy or you're not a boy.
Yeah.
But now when I lived alone, वो तो सब सीखना ही पड़ा. Like when I was like when we got the IKEA bookshelf, and I was like nail लगा के मैं से line में ठोक रहा था. My partner was like, "Fuck, you're so hot, like so much more like just like the fact that you're doing this like nail me daddy types."
I wanted to set up that my fiance had come to stay over that day, so we had bought IKEA shit. And I was setting up a table and she shouted at me saying, अकेले मत कर तेरे को लग जाएगा. So I was not allowed
Different
to
strokes.
do it.
Yeah.
But hey man, how Mumbai, contrary to what I said, Mumbai must not have been so bad, is what I'm trying to say.
No, bro, I love Mumbai.
Yeah, no? इधर at least काम करते हैं लोग एकदम.
काम करते हैं और like काम से काम रखते हैं.
हाँ. Except me, मैं तो घर आ जाता हूँ इसके.
That's fine. I love mehta at my house. But हाँ यार, like Bombay सही है. बड़े अजीबोगरीब तरीके के लोग भी मिलते हैं, बड़े अच्छे भी मिलते हैं, बुरे भी मिलते हैं. लाइक सुबह अच्छे होते हैं, शाम को बुरे हो जाते हैं, शाम को बुरे होते हैं तो सुबह अच्छे हो जाते हैं. ऐसे लोग भी मिलते हैं. बट कोई बात नहीं यार, मैं दिल्ली वाला हूँ तो फिर मैं दिल्ली वालों की तरह बात करता हूँ उनसे, तो फिर उनको बुरा लग जाता है. कहते तुम दिल्ली से हो, तुम ऐसे करते हो, बात कर. भाई मैंने क्या किया, तुम्हारा क्या लिया है? कुछ नहीं लिया, जस्ट नॉर्मली बात करता हूँ.
But like you also had the Delhi get grind off of you like little bit because you were in LA for a while.
Bro, I have well traveled in places where I shouldn't have been, but luckily I was there.
What do you mean we shouldn't have been?
चेन्नई कौन रहेगा?
क्यों?
4 साल. नहीं रह सकते हैं, मतलब मैं किसी को वो नहीं कह रहा, मतलब बट मेरे को ऐसा लगा था कि थोड़े टाइम बाद की लाइक कि वापस चले जाना चाहिए मेरे को.
चेन्नई में क्यों था तू 4 साल?
स्टडीड साउंड इंजीनियरिंग यार.
एट ऐसे ही
यही करता था मैं. ये रिकॉर्ड पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड करता था.
ऐसे ही. I didn't know you were an ऐसे ही चेन्नई ग्रेजुएट. I am an ऐसे ही मुंबई ग्रेजुएट. Yeah. You did the
Where
diploma.
was I did.
Yeah, very
Basically I dropped. मैं जैसे नवीन ने बोला कि like he's electrical engineer, तो मैं mechanical engineer था पहले. फिर मैंने drop करके मैं साउंड करने चला गया, सीखने चला गया. And then फिर उसके बाद फिर मैं LA चला गया पढ़ने. फिर उसके बाद मैं वापस आया तो अलग ही इंसान था. तो अब मैं गाने भी बनाता हूँ. तो it's become like from places to making to music.
Yeah. You know? What was the first time you heard a song Hashbass was on? Do you remember?
You only played. We were in your house. The
Maya only. Yeah. Okay.
Maya सुना था.
So he was like, we're chilling and he's like, Maya. Prabdeep wala.
Yeah.
That's your song. Oh fuck. Then that's the first song I've heard.
Okay.
Because he played something.
And I played bass on it, but
dude, that song is so good.
That song is mostly you, dude. Like the bass lines all on that all three of those songs is like mostly you.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know that, man. That's cool. But then like when you were chilling, when you had come down to Bombay, was when he was like, ye banda sun, like I'll have him playing in the background while I'm doing comedy.
What Mehta didn't tell you is that night when I met him at Veranda, I actually reached out to him and told him ki like, I love your work. What Mehta does not remember how the conversation started. Then अगर Mehta only remembers telling me कि Bombay क्यों आया, यहाँ से चला जा. So I was like, यार ये बंदा क्या डाउनर दे गया मेरे को यार 2 सेकंड में. अभी तो मैं आया पहला गिग देखने आया, पहले मना करके चला गया. कह रहा भाई मत आओ यहाँ मत आओ. फिर उसका कह रहा भाई तेरा म्यूजिक बढ़िया. क्या सोच रहा हो यार. म्यूजिक तो ठीक है बट
दूर से
जाओ क्या. दूर से.
No, his joy is like उसने आपके दिमाग में डाल दिया. Now he can fuck off knowing that he's ruined your day.
No, he didn't actually. No, he didn't actually. Otherwise, I won't like show up to my house and I won't like.
I was just like giving him an honest this thing of like stay here, make a thing, you know, get into the system and then fuck off because like you don't need to be here to do work. You just need to be here to be in the system.
For sure.
Yeah. Wait, tell us more. You know, every week I find out one more musician he's either met or played with where I am like, fuck, ये इसके साथ बजा है. Please enlighten Navin with some of the names you've played with.
बहुत हैं यार. Like from sessions, it's been Pratik Kaur, Sid Shriram, Karsh Kale, Benny Dayal, Ankur Tiwari, Sanjeeta Bhattacharya, Kamakshi Khanna, Vilasha Sinha.
Do you remember Sidhu Moosewala?
Sidhu Moosewala, which is later, which is just recent, which I mean, unfortunately never happened, but it was great of what the time I spent. And then who else? There's so many other bands, Bolly Jazz, Bartender, Shilpa Rao, और कौन है? भूल ही गया मैं तो. So stuff like that.
And it's just across the board, right? That's the fun part.
Amazing. And the thing is like such a like bass, such a undervalued thing. Like for a newbie listener, they're like, oh, क्या मस्त electric guitar बजाया, क्या octave गाया, and then like, and I've always been like the kind of purveyor of like, okay, like Josh, our common friend, Joshua Thomas, who's also a guitarist, like he's always like into like some terrific bass. Right. So he'll personally curate music and be like, ye dekh kiska bass sun. Right. And when the whole house shakes, you feel like, you know, oh wow, like there's some like.
I mean, I can say this on podcast, like clearly now that I've broken some subs in some venues with my bass, and some owners don't like me because they're like, ki, "Arey hash aa gaya, to matlab aaj to phatega." And it's not. I don't have an intent to break things, but it's just that the force. When I heard bass I'm actually was not a bass player. That's also another thing in my life.
What were you?
I'm actually a piano player.
Okay.
So पापा कहते हैं और वो सारी चीजें बजाता था, मेरे को बड़ा खुशी मिलती थी उसमें, क्योंकि मैं that's how what my hobby was. So music was never the intent. And when I saw like somebody play bass in my college, which I dropped out of, it's just like I was like fascinated because I wanted to play guitar and guitar player का line मतलब दुकान बंद हो गई थी क्योंकि सबको गिटार बजाना है. So there was this one instrument which I saw like, oh, this is cool, man. This is just low end energies like this coming. So मैंने बजाना शुरू किया. So when I saw the bass and the only perception from that day till now every time is like कि भाई should rumble, should feel like भाई लोगों को पता चले कि मैं कमरे में हूँ. और किसी को घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ता कभी बार. But like it's just like they should feel it, you know. But like man. So that's was the thing, and I feel like the thing that you just said, ki like you know you feel the rumble. And nice rumble, not like bad rumble. Because then that's your stomach. Uske baad, so I kind of preferred like when I started playing out, I was like really bad and all. Like then I saw players and I was like, wow, this is also a way to play this instrument, you know. And ab yahi karta hu. Like I mean, that's one of the things.
You played for like what 4 years before you went to LA to learn. What did you learn in LA?
I did my associates of arts degree in bass performance. So
that's not a degree. How can that be a degree?
It's bro. Either you do a bachelor's or you do an associates.
Oh, there's no
anything.
masters.
Masters also you can do, but why do you want to do master?
More money, more time.
Mastering तो मैं अपने आप कर लूँगा.
तो associate क्या होता है उसमें?
Associate degree होती है कि अगर जैसे वो 3 साल के पैसे नहीं देने तो 1.5 साल के पैसे दे दो तो पढ़ाई कर लो. You know? And I got selected to do the full ride scholarship. I mean, I was the runner for full ride scholarship, which I got selected for. And through that, they were like, yo, you can do AA. And then that's how I went back to study. And I studied and I graduated. And I became the outstanding student. And then I started teaching there.
Oh, nice.
So that's how. And then I moved back because of my mom. But that's a separate story. So this is how, like, when I reached LA, bro, like, I very fat gayi thi dekh ke. Like, there are, like, I still tell people, like, you know, there are, like, this is, you can say, like, India is a pond when it comes to musicians. Yeah. Like, the US is a river. Or you can say, like, an ocean. Yeah. You know, like, single LA city has about, like, 60,000 bass players. How can you make yourself like मैं वहाँ players को देख रहा हूँ and everybody was like the more, like you would look at them and be like भाई मैं क्यों आया यहाँ? You know, bro, it like that changed me. Like I just saw like things and I was like ये क्या चल रहा है यार? Like they're so good, specifically the Swedes and the Japs. Like they're so good at their craft and I was like wow, either I'm not disciplined or they are too amazing. Yeah, which was the latter. Yeah. It's also the environment that you grow up. यहाँ चित्तर गाए हमने जाते हो वहाँ चित्तर शायद अलग तरीके से मिलते होंगे. So like but yeah man, like so I saw that and I still remember I called my mom the first day first show happened and my teacher who actually taught me, he played with Crosby, Still and Nash in the Woodstock 50th anniversary. Okay? It's insane. Like he showed me the video and I was like casually just showing me देखे ये 3 लोग आपने कौन है ये अंकल लोग कैसे कि this Crosby and मैं कहा what gig is this Woodstock 50th anniversary like क्या दिखा रहा है यार मेरे को like but apparently like the first show happened and I was like मैं चौड़ में घूम रहा scholarship winner you know he's like so he comes in he's like this room only this size of this room is a private lesson he just comes and sits and he says scholarship winner right हाँ मैं ही हूँ like I just told him like this typical Indian mentality हाँ भाई मैं ही हूँ
sorry I want to stop with that it's typical Delhi mentality
he was Canadian okay he's Canadian so मैं उससे Canada India वाला वो connection मार रहा हूँ उसको घंटे का फर्क पड़ रहा है ठीक है and he's like hey man like you want to play bass right I was like yeah like okay what do you want to be तो मैं वही चौड़ में I want to be like Victor Wooten I want to play solo bass I'll show you like this is the mentality dude I laugh at it every now and then when I say it and I love to say this story because and then he's like okay play yeah and ये जो silence था बस ऐसे ही हो गया like मैं ऐसे बैठा उसके सामने bass निकाल के वो बैठा okay play and then I wanked off like whatever I knew well the next thing he did was he packed his bag and left the room he didn't say anything he just left the room man and I was like I called my mom in the same room मैं रो रहा हूँ मेरे आंसू निकल रहे हैं मैं को मम्मी मैं कहाँ आ गया हूँ मेरी मम्मी ने फोन काट दिया यार फिर मेरे पापा को मैंने फोन किया मैंने कहा पापा मैं कहाँ और उस टाइम फोन महंगा होता था यार महंगा होता 2011 की बात कर रहा हूँ जहाँ पे मैट्रिक्स के फोन इतने होते थे कि मतलब लिटरली मैं रेंट दे दूँ अपना जब बिल आते थे सो इट वाज लाइक आई कॉल्ड माय डैड एंड आई वाज लाइक कि पापा यार ये तुमने डिसाइड किया था यही करना है अब क्या अब वापस की टिकट तो मैं दे नहीं सकता अपने आप को जो करना है कर लो नहीं तो फिर देख लो भीख मांग लो और फिर फोन काट दिया उन्होंने लाइक मैंने कहा ओ फक तो माँ बाप भी नहीं आ रहे यहाँ पे भी कोई बचाने नहीं आएगा कुछ नहीं होगा तो फिर देन आई स्टार्टेड लाइक लिटरली लाइक यू कैन से लाइक यू नो हाउ यू टेल अ किड इन अ टॉडलर स्कूल की लाइक ये ऐसे इसको पकड़ो I relearned everything about music. Yeah. Like from the point of counting basic 4/4. Like it was like so humbling. उसके सामने बैठता था मैं कहता बेटा हो गया होगी तेरी scholarship आजा and he and that was his I think that was the breaking point for me. Like to understand and then you know like to be honest I realized this after so many years is people go to the US if you are doing music it's for the exposure. You can study in the classroom but जो एक्सपोजर होता है ना वो तुमको असली सिखाता है लाइक फॉर मी द माई मेंटर्स हु आई मेट जो भी मैंने म्यूजिक देखा वो ज्यादा विजुअली देख के किसी को देखते बजाते हुए देख के कि ओफ ये तो फाड़ रहा है दैट इज व्हाट कैप्टिवेटेड मी मोर देन लाइक सिटिंग इन अ क्लासरूम एंड बी लाइक हाँ आई हैव टू प्ले दिस आई नो इफ आई मेक सेंस बट
यू हैड योर whiplash moment
हैं
your whole whiplash moment you had
whiplash हो गया था यार मैं whiplash ही बोलता हूँ like I mean the way he literally I played some and he was like he didn't say a word, dude. That was the first time ever किसी ने मेरे मुंह पे चपाट मारा ऐसे यार. And I was like कि what did he just do?
So then what happened in the next lecture? Like, did you like, how did...
No, man, I said, man, hey, I want to learn from you, man. Like, just for the first time, I left my ego, which has been crushed since that day. I let it outside the door and I was like, hey, man, can you like, I know you're fucking amazing. And apparently later I got to know he was the bass chair for 15 years in that same fucking school.
Oh, fuck.
And he stepped down because he was like, "Arey, chalo, मैं teacher बन जाता हूँ." You know, he was like on that, and he's very educated. And he was like, okay, like, hey, can you? And he saw something in me.
Yeah.
So maybe that was his, like, you can say a dick move on him, but a great move for me.
Yeah.
And in the next lecture I went, bro, I told him, I said, hey, remember? जानते हैं आप मैंने first show में आपने can कर दिया था मेरे को. So he's like, yeah, hey, tell me what you want. And it's like, hey, can you just like teach me? Like, but तो पढ़े लिखे हो तुम तो कहते हो sir, please. थोड़ा औकात में आ गया हूँ. And literally told him like, hey man, like I just really want, I'm here now. Like I don't have an escape. You don't have an escape. And you know, the thing was the school used to assign teachers.
Right.
So my boss, who later became my boss, who auditioned me, he also like was that on me. Like वो मेरे को first prize उसने दिया ही नहीं मेरे को full ride scholarship का. 3 साल बाद मेरे को उसने बताया कि मैं नहीं दूंगा तेरे को. इसलिए नहीं दिया क्योंकि मैं चाहता था कि तू outstanding student बने. तो वो मेरे को हमेशा हर एक चीज के लिए second prize दे देता था. He was like, भाई ऐसे क्यों? तो then later I realized कि like these guys were indirectly pushing me because they saw some shit in me. Which like I mean it's like life, bro. Like some people, like teachers see shit that. And I was like, oh wow, like ऐसा तुम ऐसे क्या खेल रहे थे 3 साल मेरे साथ? And you know, but it was worthwhile. Yeah. And then I went, that same teacher, I hung on to him so badly that by the second year he was like, भाई छोड़ दे मेरे को यार. Like छोड़ दे मेरे को. Like हो गया. मैं लाइक इंडिया आता था, उसके लिए काजू की बर्फी लेके जाता था. उसको काजू की बर्फी पसंद थी, उसको खिलाता था, उसको बोलता था सिखा दे, वो और टफ चीजें सिखाता था मेरे को. And like, क्या हो रहा है? But man, so thankful to these people, man. Like really, really.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Really.
And people always underestimate the value of like an education when it comes to arts. You know, people assume कि Beatles को नहीं आता था तो सबको जरूरी नहीं है. But it really helps.
No, it really depends from person to person, you know. Like a lot of people, like even later when I graduated, and I'm not boasting, but I worked really hard because I kind of realized that this is it for me. You know, I've dropped out of mechanical engineering. It is 2008, like where everybody wanted, every parent wanted the kid to be either a doctor, CA या जो भी. उसके बीच में मैंने चालू भी किया इंजीनियरिंग करना और फिर छोड़ भी दिया. उसके बाद फिर अब तो लग गएंगे, अब तो अगर मैं घर गया वापस तो अब तो भीख मांगनी पड़ेगी. So then I kind of realized, man, this is it now for me. And like even now when people ask me like, hey man, how do you feel like going outside India to study music? Of course it's a niche thing because you have to spend a lot of money and it's not easy. Unless अगर मैं Reliance और वो तो चलते फिरते कर लूंगा. But I'm a middle class kid, you know. So for people like us, you're just like, okay, now how do you make that important decision?
Yeah,
so and it's a very important decision. मैंने लोन ले रखा था अपने नाम पे जो मैं अभी तक चुकता कर रहा हूँ. 2011 का 22 पहुंच गया हूँ मैं. The thing that I tell people is like you need to realize कि what you're getting into. Even if you don't realize, तुम्हारे वहाँ चित्तर उड़ेंगे जाके. अगर तुम्हें चित्तर उड़वाने, नहीं तो तुम chill कर सकते हो लाइफ में. You know, so that kind of vibe. And now, like I tell people कि like if you feel that you want to do it, go do it.
Yeah.
At least get that exposure. Yeah. You know, because like I have lived on that motto, bro. If you don't experience it, then how will you feel things? Yeah. Can तो हो ही सकता है, bro. Like I told one of my favorite drummer, all-time favorite drummer, मैं तेरे साथ बजाऊंगा. पता नहीं कैसे बोल दिया मैंने जाके उसको. LA में ही बोला, मैंने कहा यार man, fuck, I love your drumming, I want to play with you. उसके बाद मेरे को realize हुआ मैंने बोल के कि भाई ये तो फेंक देगा मेरे को उठा के बाहर. But then worth the try. And I actually played with him. And I actually became friends with him. Which was like, wow. Yeah. Like I was like, कि अगर मैंने शायद नहीं बोला होता, which I have a regret for one guy which I always wanted to say, and he was sitting right next to me like this, and I didn't say him. And to date, I have that regret कि यार मैंने अगर उस बंदे को उस टाइम बोल दिया होता, तो at least वो बंदा पहचानता तो सही मेरे को. Yeah. So, like,
have you had any of those? Like just to my.
I hope it is interesting. What I'm
it's very interesting. Yeah. My theory with this is very simple. I have not gone to any musical training or any music school or anything. I rely on people like Hashbass. कि तुम लोग जाके सीख के आओ
बचाओ,
और मैं बोलेगा कि ऐसा टोंगड़ोंग चाहिए तो फिर वैसा बनाने का.
बिल्कुल.
Like when I was learning guitar and this is like same middle class family, so I had to like beg my sister कि मतलब एक लेके देना मेरे को please. So she would give, and then it was all me. I have to learn on my own.
Sure.
And it was just for passion. I didn't want to like really play or anything. Because then like I always was like, हाँ मस्त बजाते TV पे लोग ऐसे जो भी बजाते. And I've seen parties where they become the life of the party.
Yeah, I was the one.
Yeah, so I would go, and every Sunday I remember I had to go to Mira Road, which is like next to Bhander. Travel, like take a bus, take a rickshaw, and then go to the thing. And it was in the church ka compound, okay?
Right.
Nice.
So like 3 to 4 on Sunday afternoons, when everybody else was sleeping, this guy called Camillus would teach me. Shout out to Camillus, sir.
Shout out to Camillus.
And that's why they were like, yo, you have to learn all of this. You have to learn musical language.
Yeah.
You have to learn these chords. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, and I was like, yeah, CA bhi kar lenge hum log. Like that comes after 3 months.
Yeah.
Just
पहले तो string उसको ठीक से पकड़ string.
Just like the most basic song, right? Like he's a jolly good fellow or whatever the fuck you're learning is.
Yeah.
It's like that. And I obviously like picked up whatever I learned, and I fucked off. After like 2-3 months I left one day. I'm like कि मैं बाकी internet भी सीख लूँगा. And he felt bad. I think he would still message me after a while saying कि are you not coming back करके. And I was like, no.
Yeah, because like, yeah, and I can understand how that, like my whole musical journey has been, the only things I've learned formally were the drums.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
And nothing else I
Let's
learned
go,
formally.
Aakash.
I haven't played in so long. But like, I completely get it. Like, it's a different journey for her. But at the same time, when I'm jamming, like when I'm jamming for the album, like there is a genuine, like, you're just lost. Yeah. Like doesn't matter what skill set anybody is from or anything, as long as you're in the same emotional sync. Correct. It's just like soup karke aisa ye ho jata hai. We don't get that in comedy, no? Like we don't get that opportunity in comedy to just like have a collective experience like musicians do.
Improv mein hota hai, not in stand up. Improv is like when 4 or 5 of you all like together get what you're doing, and the scene goes like from one suggestion of a word to like an entire sequence of events, and the hilarious after hilarious, and character everybody gets right, everybody gets whatever. Yeah, it's like a whole magical thing happening on stage. I've witnessed so many times.
It's the moment. Yeah, it really is.
People shit on improv a lot. Sometimes even I do, because there's a lot of shitty improv.
It's quite shittable also.
Yeah, there's a lot of shitty improv in the city right now, and I'm not going to mince my words.
Names.
I'll name names. But like, yeah, the good ones don't carry on doing improv. They obviously all have branched into acting and all. Yeah. Like Adam Dow used to teach first, and he was good. Then he's gone back to America a little bit. He does that. Gavin was so good. All the good ones have moved on to like now whatever. I don't know. I feel the comedy situation only is in a flux weirdly right now.
Flux.
But I mean, crux. We're talking to an independent musician who is like the most flux state possible.
मतलब
like बिना Bollywood तो कैसे ही मुश्किल, कितना ही मुश्किल to be a musician.
मतलब are you talking to me like as in?
I'm just saying like, like as an independent musician, at some point you have to start working with Bollywood.
The thing is, I've always been the indie musician. It's so many crazy things that when you guys are talking about, it's like I can relate to how Navin said like he had to pick up a guitar and go to places. It's also at that point of time it was lack of information. I felt like I never knew. I'm a lefty, by the way. I never knew that there's a left-hand bass that existed. तो मैं जब दुकान में गया भारत म्यूजिक हाउस की, तो सरदार जी ने बोला जी ये बेस है, ये बजा लो, और ये राइट हैंड बेस है. So I learned how to play a right hand bass. मैं US गया, मैं कहा ये ऐसे कैसे बना रखा है. बंदे ने उतारा, बजा के देखा, मतलब 3-4 साल से जो मैं करता आ रहा हूँ वो यार, but I should have done this way.
Yeah. Did you ever switch back? You don't. Now you play right only.
I play right, but I also know how to take the same bass, turn it around and play left.
Nice.
Because I try to teach myself. But then I play left hand, right hand, but it also helps me in certain ways because this is the main working hand.
Right.
So there are some things that I play much more swiftly than a right hand guy trying to play a right hand bass.
I feel you. That was
very twisted thought, but it's like that.
Same, because of I also learned everything in right. Like not that it helped my guitar playing at all, but the drums and all, it was a lot like.
It does, bro.
Yeah, it just gives
so we had a left-hand guitarist in our church, and the whole purpose of doing all of this when I went to Camillus sir was so I can play in the church. Like every Good Friday, they remove the piano, they remove the musical instruments which were like electronic, and it would be only like acoustic guitars. Like everybody's like Jesus died, so sad, whatever. And I would just like be like, मुझे भी ये करना है. I was just like called Malcolm would teach me a little bit. So I would like, fully play, and then there was one left-hand guitarist, and we would sit in a circle because our church was small, our choir is small. बीच में एक chair के ऊपर एक paper रखा और 3 लोग उसके आजू-बाजू बजा रहे, and the left guy just like banging against the fretboard, full time, full mass. That happens. We were like, we forgive you, but it's Good Friday, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's Good Friday, But yeah, I relate to so many informations that I were before, and then it's just like now realize कि ओए ये तो खेला और रखा था.
Yeah, dude.
और हम तो फिसल गए इसके अंदर जाके.
You remember there was this one guitarist who was a lefty who learned how to play righty, but like he just flipped the guitar around. So instead of like he didn't rearrange the strings, so it was ulta.
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ. That's how I also learned.
Yeah,
basically.
Who was that though? There was a blues player.
But it's like right hand bass, and you switch it around.
Yeah.
And your strings are like upside down now.
Yeah.
And you play that.
So your C is not like this, it's like this.
Yeah.
It's like basically instead of you playing like this, now you're playing like this.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, full brain is ulta.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break while we figure out the ambidexterity required to execute something like this. See you on the other side. Everyone has their own name in this studio. I don't call anyone by their name except for Navin.
Amarjeet, Jinx and
यार आप कहाँ से हो दिल्ली से?
Young Santa.
पंजाबी बाग के पास पश्चिम विहार है.
Y'all heard me.
Yeah.
I was
This is on record. Should this be on record? We should be on record.
पश्चिम बिहार से हो? कौन से ब्लॉक से हो?
A4.
Okay, nice. मैं जनकपुरी से हूँ.
आपने भारत म्यूजिक बोला, मैं तभी समझ गया था कि ये वेस्ट वाले.
Exactly. मैं जनकपुरी से हूँ यार.
अपना पहला गिटार
वहीं से सबने वहीं से लिया bro. सबने ही वहीं से लिया. ये साले वेस्ट दिल्ली में सिर्फ भारत म्यूजिक स्टोर से वही बेचते हैं सब लोगों को.
हॉबनर के गिटार्स.
This was an honest take, okay? This was very honest.
Yeah. We get it.
Yeah.
And it's only in Delhi people have noticed more than anywhere else.
Yeah.
My friend that day was talking to me about like how two like different friends from Delhi are sitting in the house.
Yeah.
And one person's like, oh, I'm from, South Delhi. And the other person, I'm from East Delhi.
Sure. And
immediately the tone, how they dealt with that person from East Delhi changed.
100%.
They're like too niche. That happened immediately in the conversational tone only.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's very obviously a Delhi thing. Because in Bombay, we don't do that. We're like, okay, I'm from Kulaba, you're from Vasai, but our struggles are almost in a way.
Struggles have brought us to Khar.
To Khar, yeah.
दोनों like घूम फिर के साथ में आते.
I went to Kurla the other day, yaar. And I took a U-turn and I came back.
It's the multiverse of madness.
I went there and I was
Sadness, rather.
I went there and I was like, "Ye kya hai?" And then I went to Borivali and then I was like, this looks like Paschim Vihar actually.
Yeah, Borivali is cute.
Really,
is cute.
No, it's nice. It looks like अपना West Delhi side ही. मतलब अपने जो घर हैं वो.
Yeah.
But I went to some certain parts of Bombay. I was like, I'm still new. You know that.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I
And
completely
that's a
get
great
it.
perspective. We're not getting that way. Like, you went to Kotla for the first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
What
Tell
was
us
it?
more.
Tell us more.
Phoenix
Describe it.
Market City गया था ना वहाँ पे कुर्ला में वहाँ पे gig करने नहीं गया था देखने गया था for once. Like देखने गया था gig and I walked and I went there and I was like, wow, so many people और एक अलग ही भसड़. Like
vibe अलग पूरा वो लोग का mindset अलग भाषा अलग.
And I looked at it and I was like, पता नहीं यार like I felt अजीब सा.
Yeah.
But अजीब
That's the
भी
only
is
place with AC in Kodla, so it makes sense. Everybody comes there for some ventilation once in a while.
you all know the joke, but I'm just laughing because I'm having like some very funny thoughts in my head when I looked at places and people, and there was a certain anger in people's faces and I felt like I could blend in, like if I was in an anger mode, but this was a different type of anger that I saw, like two people fighting, like all that going on, and auto milna bhi mushkil. Like वहाँ auto वाले is also giving me next level of like कहाँ जाना बैंड्रा जाना नहीं जाऊँगा. नहीं जाऊँगा बैंड्रा बोल रहा है यार.
नहीं
कोलाबा तो जाने को बोल रहा हूँ.
Kodla is the only place where like once my partner and I came back from a trip and we had the misfortune of getting off at a Lokmanya Tilak terminus, and वहाँ से रिक्शा बाहर मिला हम लोग को and we are like sir खार चलोगे इधर चलूँगा बैठो, and then when we went to sit down he drove the rickshaw away. Like, you know how your friends do that to you. And like बैठना अरे जा रहा बोल दिया. What the fuck are you doing, dude? जब चाहिए तो कभी पत्थर मिलता भी नहीं हाथ में.
वो लोग को ना मीठी नदी का इस साइड नहीं आने का रहेगा.
ये मेरे साथ गोरेगांव में हुआ था एक बारी. मैं गोरेगांव ईस्ट गया था. एक तो ईस्ट और वेस्ट में जा अब बोलता हूँ क्योंकि मेरे को रोड के इस पार कुछ दिखता है और रोड के उस पार कुछ दिखता है.
गोरेगांव के ईस्ट में जंगल है, वेस्ट में जानवर लोग हैं.
वेस्ट में गया नहीं अभी तक तो देखे नहीं है जानवर लोग, बट ईस्ट में मैं गया और वहां पे इतनी सारी ग्रीनरी है और सडनली घर है. Like
आरे गए थे क्या? आरे कॉलोनी गए थे?
नहीं, आरे नहीं गया था. आरे क्या हुआ मैं ब्रो? आरे is also very shady place.
Full jungle bro, proper.
नहीं, वो पीछे जाके होटल and all is like very shady. I don't know if you've seen.
Palm Springs you're talking about?
Yeah, somewhere there only, bro. There are hotels there. I remember, well, forget it.
That horrible place, yeah.
Yeah, horror place. Like वो hotel spooky है bro. वो spooky hotel है. मैं फट गई थी मेरी यार. Like मैं DCF के साथ gig करने आया था हारमन अरीना में, which is Nesco. Which is there only, right? Sorry, I'm asking also because
exhibition center.
Exhibition center.
Correct. Yeah.
And they put us up in RA. God. And I was like, oh, it's beautiful. Like this is greenery. This is I want. Suddenly there's a road cut and भाई ये कहाँ आ गया मैं? Like Bombay से काफी दूर. मौत जाएगी भाई निकलेगी या तो. Bro, टूटी हुई खंडर. Like literally. And it felt like कि एक टाइम पे ये कुछ ऐसा होता था कहीं जितना अच्छा. That kind of place.
अब वहाँ पे बस टूटे सपने और पर तेरे को तो पीओपी लगाना आता है सीधा.
उस टाइम थोड़ी आता था, अब आता है ब्रो. अब जाके मैं थोड़ा
मेट्रो शेड के सपने में लग जाऊँ.
No, but like I went to Goregaon and like this auto guy has told him, I said भैया चलोगे बैंड्रा? चलेंगे जी. और जैसी पैर रखने लगा ले गया आगे निकल के, फिर रुक गया. अरे वो कहता अरे और फिर चला गया. बोल के अरे चला गया मेरे को. मैं कहा यार ये कैसे है? अरे तो उधर है.
Disorienting thing to do to someone. Just repeat what they say.
Yeah.
Dude, हाँ बोल के भाग रहे तो मतलब like I'm like it's like नहीं बोल के भागना like I trust you that's way better.
But yeah man.
This is like but this works dude. Like I was in Dubai and I got that stuck in the immigration. I had gone long story but like basically I got stuck in immigration for something and the guy told me I had to fly back to India.
Sure.
And to everything he was saying I was like okay. And then he would be like, so you'll fly back? And I'm like, no. And eventually he just got so annoyed. He's like, your passport is expired. I was like, okay. He's like, it's not okay. I'm like, no, it's okay.
What were you on?
I was on enthusiasm and just desperation to get into Dubai.
I went to Dubai the first time. I wore a t-shirt called Freshly Baked. And I had a meet.
Very well done.
I'm standing at the immigration. The guy is not looking at me. He's looking like this. I'm looking at him like... And then I was like... I did that to him. Then my friend was like, भाई अंदर घुसना है तेरे को, जाना है या तेरे को वापस जाना है? And bro, he's looked at me and he's like, please step on the side. Yeah. And then I'm like,
no, it's please step on the side.
And I'm clean. I'm clean.
Yeah.
I stay clean. So I'm like looking at him and it's 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm just sleepy. He's like, are you high? Like that guy asked me. He just straight away asked me this question. Are you high? Huh? It's like, please step on the side. मैंने हाँ बोला, उसको लगा कि मैं हूँ. हाँ. So bro, and then I had to convince him. Then they took a test on me. Like,
did you pee in a cup?
Yeah. I had to do that. Then I had to sit for 2 hours. तो कहते हैं आपका शुगर लेवल है. मैं कहा भाई कोक पी के आ रहा हूँ.
Speaking of which, this morning randomly I woke up and somebody came to my house saying कि we are from BMC. And they're like मलेरिया बहुत बढ़ गया आपके एरिया में तो खून का सैंपल लेना है. और मैंने दे भी दिया खून. मैंने ऐसे हाथ उंगली किया, उसने सुई घुसाया, मेरा खून ऐसे बस उसने वो होता ना दो
प्लेट में रखा. उतना ठीक है. अगर बाल्टी नहीं बाटली लेके गया होता तो
मतलब अगर उसने प्रॉपर निकाल के ले गया तो मतलब इसका मतलब रिसर्च करेगा.
मैंने पूछा भी नहीं कि बीएमसी का आईडी कार्ड दिखाओ या कुछ. तो
एंथुसियाज्म.
अभी आई एम अफ्रेड कि मतलब और क्या क्या निकलेगा मलेरिया के अलावा मेरे खून में.
Oh man. Yeah, be careful about that shit. Don't go around giving your blood to people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a vampire thing where they're like मीठा खून किसका है बिल्डिंग में. Let's only target the ones, you know.
And he did that like, you know, when if you were going to do a check like this randomly, you would do like a passing comment like, oh, flower pot में पानी थोड़ा सा रह गया तो उसको साफ कर दो types. I'm like, he's trying to compensate right now. मुझे मालूम है मलेरिया कैसे फैलता है, okay जैसा. And I'm like कि मच्छर है ना ज़्यादा यहाँ पे. दिखता है तो मालूम नहीं पड़ता है मच्छर रहेगा कि नहीं. मच्छर is the most common thing that will fucking bite you.
But you know, there's this thing with all civic people in Bombay. Like that day there was a fire on somewhere off Linking Road, and I went to see, and the police guy is standing there and just being sarcastic with everyone. People are taking video of the fire and the cop is coming and saying, हाँ video निकालो, इससे तो बुझ ही जाएगा ना आग. Like people are getting closer and closer. He's saying also, हाँ जाओ ना अंदर ही चले जाओ ना building में.
Yeah, dude. Authorities being sarcastic, I'm not okay with. Like same in Kolkata, I was traveling and my mask was in my bag. तो बैग के सिक्योरिटी में I turned up like this, you know, बॉडी चेक करने के लिए
एयरपोर्ट पे.
हाँ एयरपोर्ट पे. लाइक मास्क कहाँ पर है, हम लाइक बैग में. बैग को कोविड है कि तुमको कोविड होएगा. छूतिया. It's got a point. You can't even argue with it.
You deserve that punch.
I felt like sneezing on him then. Just for posterity.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. And but the guy who was before me, like I was already like, this is like he was rude to everybody. I could sense from two waves away, right? So the guy before me was on a fucking wheelchair. Dude, बेचारा पैर टूटवा कैसे गया? And they made him stand somehow. He stood like a 1 feet or और उसका पीछे स्कैन किया तो उसका कुछ टैग के पास आवाज आया. So they took him for a cavity check, dude. They took a wheelchair guy to a cavity check fully. And by the time this was done, I was done with my thing. So I'm wearing my belt and all. And this guy comes out wobbling. Okay, उसका व्हीलचेयर भी ले लिया उन्होंने शायद से. लिल क्या आ रहा है? हम लाइक क्या हुआ? कुछ सीन हुआ? बोलते कि नहीं बस the tag got caught. Like it was a button of some sort, which is what they found, and they made him do like take his pants down and all while having a broken leg at the airport.
Wow,
it's fucking crazy sometimes.
Weird. Yeah, but like this CISF guys, if you're nice to them, they're nice. If you're not, they have all the power in the world to fuck your entire day.
So badly.
Yeah. That's generally all the authorities.
I have been stuck so many times. Yeah, I mean. It was so funny that I was on a tour with an artist, and generally I carry my bass, right? So somebody had rubbed off some illegal something on a hand on my bass case. So when it went through a scan, that illegal thing showed up. And I'm thinking in my head, like, why are they opening up my bass? They opened up my bass, bro. And they were like, we need to scan this. And they did those.
There is the swabs.
The swab. Right. He took the swab and he swabbed on my bass. He's like, you've done drugs. I'm like, bro, 3 रात से सोया नहीं हूँ यार. If you have something, please.
I mean, let's be honest. That makes sound like you are doing drugs.
No, but
तब drugs कर रहे हो? मैं 3 रात से सोया नहीं हूँ.
Like, but I was on tour, and I remember like the CISF guy, like my flight. I almost missed my flight. He had me there for like 45 minutes.
Saying what?
He was like, so they were doing all sorts of these stuff on my bass, and somebody actually, I don't know what it was. Some, you know, like when you pick up some stuff, like you pick up a poly bag. It might be the poly bag is from somewhere else. Apparently, that was that's where I'm coming from. So that poly bag might have rubbed on something.
Yeah.
The guy who picked up the poly bag also touched my bass. The bass cut touching showed like I was carrying illegal stuff.
Right.
So this guy went and got my checked-in baggage, opened it in front of me. 15 CIF people are standing, and I'm just like, ऐसे बैठा हूँ.
Where is this?
Bangalore airport.
Okay.
And I'm just like sitting like this, and the artist and everybody have boarded the plane.
Yeah.
मैं ऐसे बैठा हूँ, and then like, if you don't make it to this aircraft, the show won't happen. I said, I know, I'm a bass player. So I'm like sitting there, और वो कह रहा है मेरे को कि भाई उसने मेरे पापा को फोन मिलाने, मतलब almost like 10 सेकंड दूर था वो मेरे पापा को फोन मिलाने.
How old are you? How old were you rather at that point?
I was 27.
और उसमें भी पापा को फोन कर रहा था.
वो कर रहा था.
हाँ, उनको लगता है ना,
उनको लगता है कि भाई बेटा, मतलब बच्चे तो बच्चे ही होते हैं भाई, जितने भी बड़े हो जाएं. CSF वालों को तो यही लगता है. तो जब पापा को उसने बोला कि लाइक आपको हम डिटेन करें, मैं कहा डिटेन क्या कर रहे हो? कर लो, ब्लड सैंपल ले लो. तो ही वाज लाइक कि नहीं, आपके इस पे ऐसा पता चला है. देन द हेड ऑफ बैंगलोर एयरपोर्ट सिक्योरिटी केम. अब वो आया तो 15 लोग ऐसे लाइन में खड़े हो गए. मैं कहा ये कौन, हिटलर आ रहा है क्या? लाइक एंड देन ही इज लाइक, ही जस्ट कम्स एंड ही इज लाइक, आप कौन हो? मैं कहा आप कौन हो? लाइक ही इज लाइक, मैं अपने बोर्डिंग पास देख ले भाई, मेरा नाम है यार. एंड देन ही इज जस्ट लाइक, ही जस्ट इंस्पेक्ट्स, एंड इमेजिन देयर इज वन लाइक हैंड ऑलरेडी दैट इज दे आर चेकिंग. 15 लोगों ने और बेस को हाथ लगा दिया यार. 25 लोग और आके बेस को हाथ लगाएंगे. देन आई गॉट इरिटेटेड. आई वाज लाइक, मैन लिसन, आई कांट लीव दिस बेस. I have not done anything. Please give me my bass and I'm going. In front of that head, bro, I just zipped my bass, picked it up and I walked away. Like 15 उसके चेले खड़े और एक बंदा खड़ा है और उसके सामने मैं चला गया. Then he's like, hey. I was like, bye. Bye and I went, bro. उस टाइम मैं चला गया, bro. And मेरे को लगा ये डिटेन पक्का करेगा. And वो इंडिगो स्टाफ बोल रहा है, सर this way करके मैं अंदर चला गया. Then I got a notice from like the Bangalore airport security saying कि such and such has happened, you have to show up at the Bangalore thing. It's like, bro, मैं दिल्ली में रहता हूँ, कहाँ से आ जाऊँगा? Then I showed up 2 महीने बाद. Like, आप कौन है? मैंने कहा ये नोटिस है. हाँ, हो गया ये.
You're like Nagarjuna जाके lunch करके आते
I was like, bro, yeah. I actually went to Nagarjuna the next day, and I was like, कि ऐसे क्यों है? Like I was like, okay. But it's very weird, like how. But then sometimes the airport security also is just very easy.
I तो generally have very good experiences with the airport security.
That's the only
you
time
are
I
happy go
had.
lucky, that's why.
Yeah,
I'm mad at the entire process all the time.
I I'm also very. I have a lot of rage, but not towards the CISF guy.
No,
you know what I mean?
but that's the only
Yeah.
time, Mehta, like I actually had that thing. Other than that, like I've always been dealt with like in a very nice manner. Like when I have colored hair, then they're like, "अरे आप तो
शौकीन आदमी हो."
शौकीन आदमी हो. फिर मैं उनको बोलता हूँ बादशाह के साथ बजाता हूँ. अरे बादशाह के साथ बजाता हूँ, फोटो भी खिंचवा दो यार. And then I'm like, अरे फोटो खिंचवा देंगे, पहले जरा मेरे को बिजनेस क्लास वाली लाइन से निकालो. Then I have these hacks, bro. They let me go through these things and all.
That's
Like,
great, dude. I have none of these hacks.
I have these hacks, bro. आपने मेरे को देखा होगा टीवी पे, देखे लग रहे हो. Then I take out a photo and show him. अरे आप इनके साथ, हाँ सर फ्लाइट लेट है, जल्दी.
I've never been able to use. I'm actually, as a comedian, also kind of afraid. I don't want cops to know me. You know what I mean? ऐसा ना हो गया कि अरे उनको ऊपर से मैसेज आया, अरे थोड़ा comedians को उठाओ. And they're like, कौन जानता हूँ मैं comedian? Aakash. You know, so I just don't want to go to jail.
Randomly you're just vanishing from airports.
Yeah.
Like I have my marijuana shoes, right? Like I have these canvas shoes which are like full print marijuana.
Sure.
I never wear those. I just carry them in my suitcase all the time. I'll wear my sports shoes just for that very purpose. कि मतलब one day one idiot needs to be like, oh ये बंदा ऐसा है. Same situation. Like ये जूते कैसे तूने गांजी के पहने?
Correct.
गांजी के जूते फूक सकते हैं उसको. Like that dumb they can get sometimes.
Yeah.
So you have to
जला
be
के
like,
दिखाओ.
हाँ जला के लेस फूका लेस. I don't know what they'll say, dude. So like. And it's crazy. Yeah.
No, my thing, I always hold it like the CISF guys are just doing the job. So I just like, I feel like, okay, I will just like do this in a way where your job is made easier. Because it's not like, we all know, we've traveled enough to know that the CISF guy is not the same cop on the signal looking for a bribe.
Yeah.
He's just there to keep the flight going so that nothing explodes.
But in comparison, it's a very cushy job also.
It is.
Yeah, of course it is. But at the same time, the margin of fucking up is way higher, dude. क्योंकि plane में max to max, अच्छा चलो drugs तो कोई लेके जाएगा, अगर कोई smuggler रहा drugs लेके जाएगा. पर अगर कोई plane फोड़ दिया, dude, तो है ना, मतलब गांड फट जाएगा उसका, dude.
You know, statistically, more than terrorist pilots have blown up planes.
Yeah.
Statistically, I'm speaking right now that there are more pilots who have caused plane crashes than
there
actual terrorists.
Yeah.
So who are we detaining now? let's have that conversation.
No, let's not detain the pilots.
We're not ready for that.
सिर्फ terrorist बचेगा plane उड़ाने.
Though recently I have this crazy story. We're coming back from Bangalore, okay? We're going from Bangalore to Bombay. And small airport, everybody's like very cute, checking in, whatever. Yeah. It's a 1 hour flight, not more than that. Mangalore's not far, right?
Yeah.
We're flying, boom. Somewhere in the middle, nobody's seatbelt is on.
Felt.
The sign doesn't come out. Everybody just goes boom. Like, you know, I'm 2 inches elevated, come back, okay? They're like, now wear your seatbelt. So everybody like, seatbelt. Aerosters is walking around, like my producer on the show has got his fucking thing open, okay? There's the tray open, oh, phone pe ye dikh raha hai. She's walking past saying, can you please close it? And while she's saying it, does the second thing. And she only sits down next to him. She's like, okay, fuck this. All of this is happening, okay? And I'm seeing like a bunch of men who had boarded before us, turning around once in a while, okay? They're like, what the fuck? I'm like, kya ho raha hai? Are they like, what happened? Is somebody's head hurt or whatever? Somebody behind hurt? One of their friends is in the loo.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
By this time, the third thing happens, okay? By this time, all of us have said our prayers and done this and all, holding on to dear life. And we're all convinced that he's jaane wala, okay? It's like you can see there's nothing, you can't see anything from the window. Just like rain
Clouds,
sheets hitting you, okay?
Yeah, man.
And we're all fucking terrified. And this guy rolls out, okay? From the toilet. Just looking shaken as fuck. Okay? He's like, iska goo uski muh se bahar hai. I'm pretty sure it traveled up way because the terror on his face, because all these guys were his friends wondering where he's gone. And this guy didn't come out also after like 2 fucking dips, okay? Third one.
क्योंकि धोने में कितना टाइम लगा रहेगा ना वो डिप के बाद.
और होता भी नहीं धोने के लिए अंदर. You only have tissues on the flight, yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Everybody landed like, you're like, oh fuck, we're done, we're fine.
Wow.
So my boyfriend and I have this routine, like this has happened multiple times, where like the plane will like go down and up too crazy. Like with me was the first time, but with Abhi it's happened 2-3 times. Sure. Where he's like, he'll just send all these messages, ki, I love you, take care of the cats, tell my mom and dad I love them, you know, you're the best thing that happened to me. And then the plane won't send us messages because it's on the fucking flight mode. And then when he lands, this message come to me, okay? And I'm like, fuck, what happened? Then now I'm in the taxi coming home. I'm like, fucking for 1 second, my balls in my mouth, you know?
My family, everyone travels a lot. So because of that, the family group has become like a flight board. So
safe flight.
Yeah, safe flight se zyada, it's more basically boarding from this to this, landing at this, boarding, landing, catching next flight, in transit. तो ये बहुत होता है because dad also travels, brother also travels, I also travel, bhabhi and nephew travel less because my nephew is a baby. Speaking of babies, my nephew is way too old for a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah, dude, like he's fully functioning as a mature child.
Yeah, like
I saw him yesterday.
Yeah, he has conversations, dude, and he has questions and he will argue with you and all.
What's the best question he's asked you?
Dude, he asked some stupid ass shit. Dude.
Tell me a stupid
it's all
question.
very original. He'll be like, so firstly, right now, his favorite question that he asked me is, why don't you and Shreya Kaki sleep in the same room? Which is the best thing because my fiance comes over, she can't sleep in the same room.
Sure.
So that is my favorite question that he asks, and I encourage him to ask it constantly to his parents, saying, but, you know, he'll be like, but this is Kaka and this is Kaki. They have to be like
together.
Yeah. There's a lot of what's for lunch, what's to eat. There's a lot of. Yesterday they were saying bye to him, and he just went okay. Like he just did like, chal yaar,
chal ho gaya.
कुछ खा रहा था या देख रहा था, I think.
Yeah, it was too funny.
He has some great questions, man. He says, how do you make sounds? He asks me sometimes.
Nice.
I'll make sounds for him. He'll be like, how do you make it? And I'm like, he just gets fascinated. Right now he's in that phase where he likes fun sounds a lot.
Nice.
So if you tell him story, it has to be like Mannu ka story with Pannu, and then he just loses his mind.
Kids are easy, dude.
Yeah.
I also have noticed that you can tell kids all of this in like this language, the kids language, and say whatever you fucking want. Like, you know, sometimes if I'm not happy with my brother-in-law doing something, they'll be like, who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Whose daddy is a piece of shit? Who, you know,
subliminal like messages into the
just
child.
get away with that.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Asshole.
Just do that. It's too cute.
No, my favorite thing is how he argues right now. Like if he wants something and you don't give it to him, like he wants to watch his serial. Like his serial is a strong word for it, but whatever YouTube thing he watches. And if you take it away from him, immediately he starts saying stuff. आप ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो मेरे साथ? एक छोटे बच्चे से अपना उसका ये मत ले लो. ऐसा सब बोल रहा है यार. वो 2.5 साल का है.
2.5 साल का बच्चा.
मुझे खुद को 8 साल लगे तो ये सब समझने को, ये सब डायलॉग यूज करने को.
मेरे मासूमियत का फायदा उठा रहे हो.
Oh man, he's so cute. I love hanging.
But that's a nice little phase until they're 4, and then they become
annoying as fuck. Yeah, he's getting there.
Then the questions start becoming more profound and like unnecessary.
I'm looking forward to those also. What he'll ask me, what about life and all.
Yeah.
But his main thing is right now is where is everybody? Like he likes to know where everyone is at any given time. Like where is Dada Dadi? Where are mom, dad? Where is dad? Where is Kaka? Where is Kaki? Where is mom? Where am I? Where are we going? What's after this? Like he's an anxious baby.
Curious है अभी. Curious
मेरे को लगता है anxious baby है थोड़ा. Like
anxious or curious.
Show him the NASA photo and tell him to shut the fuck up.
Brahman.
बेटा तुम यहाँ हो.
Anything interesting that you're working on right now? Anything cool that's coming out in the next couple of weeks?
Working on my own music, producing for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Putting out EP in 2-3 weeks max.
Yes.
And
when this comes out, the timeline will be different. So if you can give us
so it'll have come out of 2-3 weeks before. Yeah. So he just had an EP.
I think in
August
first week.
Yeah. So 2-3 weeks ago.
So August first week, and then producing my own music with a lot of people and producing for a bunch of people as well. I can't give you names. I would love to, but I've signed a bunch of NDAs.
Oh, that's fair.
But it's very exciting. Also, from not being the generic bass player and being more of a producer. Music producer. So producer को लगता है पिक्चर बनाता है. Like तो
उसके लिए jeans लगता है.
No, but तो what shit.
बाकी सब सही है.
बाकी सब सही है. तो but yeah, so very excited on making the whole music. Maybe might do a track with Aakash as well.
Maybe only it is stuck on every time he calls me and then
it's not maybe.
I wish he would do casting couch with me.
Nice.
He's refusing.
I'll record.
Please do.
Story for a better time.
Maybe.
All right, that's it from us at Varta Lab.
It's been absolutely great. Thank you so much for giving us time, man. Such a great time.
Always, anytime. Thank you, Navin. Thank you,
thanks a lot.
Mehta.
If you're listening to this, you can find Hashbass @Hashbass all over the
Hashbass का बुलाओ
by hash के hash.
As like my Japanese friend, Hashbass son. I have like a bunch of Japanese friends and they're like, Hashbass son. I'm like, okay guys, relax. It's everything's okay.
I am not Bombay. I'll calm down.
Yeah, I'm in Bombay, guys.
And that's Bass with BASS, not BASE, as is commonly mistaken. Navin is House of Norona.
BAAS, Bass.
Yeah, House Bass.
Hashbass.
Hashbass. But yeah, Hashbass on everywhere.
And there's Navin is House of Norona everywhere, and I'm Kuch Bhi Mata everywhere. This is Varta Lab.
Yep.
From the studios, straight into your ears. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Into your soul.